Welcome everyone to another special episode of Malt and Magic, where we explore the origins of our various characters. Tonight we explore the origins, and the final origin story actually, of our intrepid rogue, our Tabaxi rogue, Jewel of Shadows. We will delve into the origins of Jewel of Shadows. We'll explore her early life, find some pivotal moments that shaped her journey, and see how she navigates those shadows of Stonebark Village even, uncovers hidden truths. And as she does so, even, I'm going to get my words straight in a minute, as she does so, we invite you to join us on a journey filled with mystery, intrigue, and transformation of sorts. Now, as always with our sessions, they are aimed at an adult audience. This session in particular may include themes of loss, emotional trauma, and supernatural horror, so viewer discretion is advised. As always, there will absolutely be adult language and adult humour. We may also get some canine cameos in the background today, so just bear with, because I am dog-sitting. But yes, prepare yourself for a tale of discovery and destiny as Jewel confronts both the darkness around and the darkness within. Let this little adventure begin. Let's roll. Hello!
Hello!
Here we go. Yes, tonight it is just me and thee.
It's going to be good.
It's going to be a very intimate session, is what I'm going to say. Which, yeah, depending on how you take that one. But yes, so we'll do the shortest lineup I think we've potentially ever done on Malt and Magic. But I am Matt. I am your Dungeon Master for this evening, as with most evenings, and I will also be playing some NPCs, some little psychic characters, maybe some monsters. We'll see what happens.
And I'm Dave, and I am playing Jewel of Shadows, starting from a young age.
Absolutely, and we are absolutely starting from a young age as well. So, let's dive in. We begin in depths of the Cathedral of Sin. As Jewel, you and the Planar Detective Agency have just battered through those doors into that main chamber and seen this ritual going on with all of the priests, the thralls, the demonic forces around. And there was that moment during that battle where a succubus turned and looked at you, recognized the touch of a succubus that has plagued you before, and blew you a kiss. And in that moment, Jewel, you blacked out, collapsed. Vaguely, as you sort of shrink back away from your own consciousness, you can hear Cavern's voice. Jewel, wake up! Jewel! Jewel! Wake! Jewel! Jewel! And then it all begins to go distant and dark. You feel weightless, bodiless, but still conscious of your mind. And as you descend into darkness, two piercing blue eyes appear out of that darkness. Jewel, some things were taken from you. It is time they were returned. And there is a blinding flash of light. The camera cuts to a wagon. Absolutely ham-fisted booking it away from a tiered city in the mountains. Two tabaxi sit on this particular wagon. A slightly younger version of Jewel's mother and father, Page of Shadows, and Dream of Shadows. I almost forgot their names then. Got the document open in front of me as well, idiot. This wagon careens around corners and down dirt tracks and eventually descends into the forests of Dryamere. And Dream just sort of shuffles forward and sits herself next to her husband and just pats him. It is okay now, Paige. We are safe. We are safe. Calm. 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 We do not want to risk this baby coming earlier than planned. Paige sort of takes a big shuddering breath. I thought we were done for there. We cannot let this wrong go on as it is. Dream turns to Paige and just sort of plants a kiss on his cheek. We have more important things to worry about now, my love. Let us build a new life, away from the chaos of Union City. Your work will be remembered, but we have a chance to start anew. A chance for little Jewel here to, well, a chance for her to have a life away from resentment. And Paige looks deep in Dream's eyes. You'll know it still could be a boy. No. I am absolutely certain. Of this, I am certain. Eventually that wagon sort of continues now at a slower pace. And comes across a small village. Deep in the Drymerian woods. Drymerian forest even. On the edge of the Aethenir Peaks, the foot of the mountain range. A simple village filled with tabaxi. And a few others as well. The occasional furbolg, elf, half-elf. Dream and Paige are met by a number of friendly tabaxi who welcome them in and show them to a house that was recently vacated, or, well, is essentially in probate, as the person who lived there previously had recently passed away. Years pass as Dream, Paige, and now you, Jewel, build a life within Stonebark Village, within this Drymerian forest. Your father quickly becomes a known smith for crafting just the odd knickknacks, but also important functions or pieces of function. He crafts the mechanism for the well. He crafts a number of lanterns and stuff that can be used around the village. To begin with, he crafts the weapons of the local militia, if you like, but quickly realises he mustn't do that anymore and must give that up. Dream begins to collect the lore of Stonebark. Being a historian herself, she is fascinated by this village that has changed over time, and the myths, the legends, the rumours that were there. You as a young girl spend your days frolicking throughout the forests, playing with the other tabaxi children, And over time, you develop a deep, deep friendship with another tabaxi known as Katrana Rayla. Dave, I'm going to ask you to describe to me what Katrana looks like.
So, tabaxis come in a variety of shapes and sizes, and all have different styles of descendants. So, Cortana is not quite as full Black Panther as Jewel would be. She has more of the speckled sort of turtle shell colours through. So more of it, so got that black tone, but it's got more of the silvers, the whites, and the bronzes lines through. They're of both similar physique. They're both quite lean. They're both young ladies who are quite fast and nimble, and they have very similar accents, but you can tell that there's just something about the way that they grew up. One, not quite knowing that they were from the city, but they kind of just had that slightly different dialect. But they got on really well.
Excellent. And this friendship is a strong one. One where you spend pretty much every waking hour with each other. You get to know each other's families so well. You are the best of friends, almost like sisters. That is, until a few years later, when a real sister arrives. And along with this sister, Dream enlists the help of a local elven girl. Mayanora Hamela begins to spend time looking after you while your parents go about their work. She becomes a babysitter, almost a wet nurse of sorts, if you like, not quite a wet nurse, but certainly a babysitter to Bronze. There's one day where you are playing with Katrana just outside your house while Mayanora, who is no older than probably 12 or 13 at this point, just rocks in a chair with little baby Bronze in her arms. And Katrana takes a spill and falls and rolls and is just about to roll onto a hay fork. And you watch in that moment as Mayanora just reaches out, "No!" And there's a flash of energy. And before Katrana can roll onto this hay fork, onto the prongs of this hay fork, her body stops. You see a line of red from a cut that seems to have opened up on Mayanora's hand. And that line of red, when you now realise it's blood, just sort of wraps itself around Katrana's heel. And then Mayanora lets it go and just...
Mayanora, you saved her. You saved her, thank you.
Jewel, I'm going to need... Jewel, I'm going to need a rag. Quickly get from the kitchen.
Of course. Bounces, leaps into the kitchen, grabs something and come out. Was that from the magic? Is that a result?
I think so. Jewel, we must not tell anybody about this. Katrana, clean your ankle up. Let's just keep this a little secret.
Oh, okay. Why?
My magic is different from others. It is, unique. We don't want people knowing I can sling blood around, and it seems a little unhygienic.
Well, okay, but I'll keep it safe. I won't tell anyone. But why are you so afraid of it if it helps people?
Jules, you are very young. Well, you're younger than me. I don't know how to control this. I don't want it controlling me.
It can't control you.
You're always so optimistic, Jewel. Let's hope so. Now, it's time I go and change bronze. So, you and Katrana play safely out here. Let's move that hay fork, shall we?
I'll give it to Papa. I'll move it.
Good girl. I'll be inside with your mother if you need me. Okay?
Yeah.
She sort of ruffles the top of your head. Always such beautiful eyes, Jewel. And she disappears inside as Bronze begins to coo and gurgle, and then there's a little cry, and you hear sort of Mayanora's voice and your mother's voice, just chattering in the kitchen, so to speak, or inside your house. More years pass. You and Katrana grow and age. Mayanora grows and ages. The village itself begins to change slightly. Whispers, murmurs of dark things in the night begin to emanate throughout the village. There is one evening where the sun is just about dipping over the horizon and stars are beginning to shine. And Paige sort of wanders up to you and Katrana. Best not to be outside at darker hours. Come, both inside. Katrana, when you finish playing. In fact, why don't you stay for dinner and then I will take you back to your mom and dad.
Papa, why is it no longer safe at night?
Well, it's not that it's not safe as such, it's just, well, there's, rumors of, strange things happening. And rumors or not, I'm not going to risk your pretty little head on anything like that. So he ruffles your hair and then pulls you in for a hug. We don't want that beautiful face getting spoiled now, do we?
No. Does Mama know anything about them? Has this happened before?
Probably a question for you on Mama, but from what we can tell, this is something relatively new. I mean, we've had the odd goblin skirmish, you know that. We fought them off, and... But yes, this is strange. As you go inside, there is then a loud rap on the door. Loud knock, just... And Paige, you just see him sort of close his eyes and... Go and find me an order. I will deal with this. What do you do?
Is Maynora in the house, or...?
Yeah. Mayanora is with your mother still, tending to the toddler Bronze now. Mayanora almost spends more time at your house than she does her own. Her parents of such... Very little is said about them. Instead, she lives with an aunt, just known as Auntie Hamela to the village. A crimson-haired, sort of elderly, elvish lady. And she came to the village with Mayanora not long after Dream and Paige came to the village, and sort of gave birth to you.
I'll go and find Mayanora and Mama.
Okay. Make me a perception check, please.
Oh, let's grab that dice. That is a 9.
9. You don't quite hear the full conversation. You hear snippets of a terse conversation with your father. Just things like, "Well, what are you going to do about it?" And more mutterings and "Surely it's no coincidence, the name." And then you do hear your father very loudly as a final thing. "Listen, I don't know what your problem is, but if you set foot in my house again with this kind of attitude, it will be the last thing you do. Now leave!" And you hear a huff. Somebody turns and the door slams. And Paige comes wandering in and just sort of looks at your mother. There's a knowing look. And your mother then turns to you all. "Girls, why don't you, let's get the table ready for dinner. Go get the plates and the knives and the forks."
Okay. Could I come with you one day to read some books?
Oh, by all means, my dear. I did not know you were as interested. Of course you can. Most of them are here.
I'm interested in the changes recently. I'd like to know about them.
What changes?
It becomes more and more unsafe at night.
I wish you'd not been listening in so well, but then you are such an inquisitive little one. Yes, there are strange things going on.
Is it not better to know? To be safer?
Let's see if we can know what they are. Listen, it's probably best that we tell you at least something. There are whispers of things going missing. Not people, but livestock. Mainly. Herds of pigs, flocks of chickens.
You think it's the goblin hordes? Or something else?
We originally thought it may be goblin hordes, but, well, not the usual signs of goblins. You know, the rudimentary arrows, or goblins and the hobgoblins, and they tend to be a bit more brutish, and a bit more obvious. This is happening in darkness, and without anybody knowing, or feeling anything, or hearing anything. Whispers are being heard by those who stalk the village at night. Stalk is our wrong term. Parade around the village at night. Chilling breezes, those sorts of things. This is why it's best to stay inside, where it is light.
I like that. Staying inside.
Good. Good. Katrana, how would you like a little sleepover this evening?
Really?
Katrana sort of looks up, and as you go, really, and Dream looks down. Yes, why not? I'll go inform your mother. Stay here. And Dream sort of exits out and wanders off, and Paige sort of then walks in, and Mayanora, and both of them sort of jivvy you on to go and set the table, and Paige and Mayanora themselves start bringing food to the table so that when Dream returns, everything's done, and she walks in, and there's just this beaming smile on her face. "Ah, my beautiful family. Look at you, all ready for me. Well, I think this calls for some wine as well. Not for you girls, before you get excited. Okay, maybe just a little bit. And they do pour you just sort of the tiniest amount of this ruby red wine. Mayanora gets a little bit as well. Mayanora has become, or almost grown into her full elven beauty at this stage. Her own crimson hair flowing down around her, but her skin is, unlike her aunts and unlike the other elves you see around the village, it is a pale white, like deathly pale white. People often ask her if she's ill, but she is always of the bubbliest attitude and personality, and always in good spirits.
When the rest of the table is distracted, Jewel will lean to Katrana and say, "Hey, why don't we sit up into the night and maybe we can hop out my window into the roof and see if we see anything spooky coming through the village."
I don't think this is wise.
Why not? It'd be fun.
Your mama said there was things
Yeah, but we could see them.
that might... Okay. But only for a little bit.
Yeah.
Okay?
Don't want to be too tired.
Okay. No.
Anyway, shh.
Hush, okay.
And you have a meal as the family, and it is a lovely little meal, just all of you together. Eventually Mayanora sort of stands and yawns. Well,
Mr. and Mrs. O'Shadows.
And Dream just goes,
Please, Mayanora, it is Dream and Paige. Less of this Mr. and Mrs. It's a very big mouthful when you have to say Mr. and Mrs. of Shadows.
and Mayanora then just goes,
Very well then. Dream and Paige. Jewel, Katrana, Ron. It has been lovely, but I'm sure Auntie is getting a little bit anxious, so I will take my leave. Thank you for a lovely meal as always. I will be back tomorrow if you need me to look after Bronze.
and Dream just sort of stands like,
You are always welcome here.
and Paige just sort of looks, indeed, indeed, always welcome, Mayanora. You help us no end. You will then sort of hurry down to bed as you tidy up between the five of you. Dream takes Bronze into their room where there is a sort of a smallish bed, sort of settles her down. You can hear sort of the mutterings of a toddler. Bronze,
Stay up. Stay up.
Paige then looks at you and Katrana. Well then, girls, I think it is time you headed to bed as well. Sure, you have lots of things to do in the morning in terms of play and go and find things, and who knows, maybe you will learn a little bit tomorrow. Yes, don't be up too late chatting.
No, we won't. Promise.
Very good. And Paige sort of kisses you on the top of the head. Sweet dreams, my love. And sends you off into your room. Katrana sort of follows.
Jewel runs up quite quickly, little quicker than normal.
In such a hurry. Strange. Anyway, off I go. And Katrana says,
Jewel, wait for me. Too quick. Always too quick.
I think they would stay up talking under the covers for a little bit until they didn't hear much noise from the rest of the house, and then would start by opening the window at the end and just watching for a bit, but then with the feline agility they both have, would hop out the window onto the thatch roof and then just sort of hunker down at the apex of the roof and just look out.
when you sit and watch, I'm going to ask for a stealth check, please. As you see a number of militia, the armed guard, if you like, wandering around the village.
She's really not that good. But it's not bad. It's a 17. I'll take it.
Fucking hell. She's not that good, but it's not that bad. 17. You and Katrana then sort of hunker down, and even though the militia walk by, they're never looking up, so to speak. They're always looking out and looking on the edge of the village and into the forest, and where the wooden walls sort of emanate out of the forest to the main entrance to the village.
Jewel would have taken a sort of a light coloured blanket to like blend in with the thatch, so that they're covered as well.
Yeah. So you do, and even in the darkness, sort of, or especially in the darkness, you sort of disappear. The Black Panther, Katrana slightly less so. The only thing really visible, if anybody was to properly look, would be your eyes. Katrana sort of begins to...
Jewel, I'm getting scared.
Why, do you see anything?
No, but we're not meant to be out. And what if we get caught?
We won't get caught. No one can see us up here. They think we're asleep.
What are we looking for anyway?
I want to see if there's this... They were saying that there's no... They were saying there's no evidence of anyone nicking anything, but surely we need to see people. So that's what I'm trying to see. Maybe it's like maybe it's mountain ogres coming in and stealing our sheep.
Mountain ogres?
I read them in a book.
Oh, they sound big.
They wouldn't get us up here.
Oh, are you sure?
Yes.
And she sort of shuffles a little bit closer to you.
Okay, but if anything comes at us, you can go first.
Kidding me? I'm getting straight back inside.
You sit and you continue to just sort of chat as the moon gets higher and higher in the sky. And eventually, in the small clearing that Stonebark Village sort of forms or is sat within, the moonlight shines down. You can just see patches of shadows around. Make me a perception check, please.
$11.
11. Trying to see fuck all the two. You, Jewel, however, notice a number of militiamen, or militia tabaxi, I should say, suddenly surge off into a corner where there's a sort of sudden squawking of maybe chickens or maybe some of the ducks or something. Just, you're not quite sure. And all of a sudden, where the torchlight from those militiamen was sort of wandering around the village, there are more and more shadows around. And that's when you hear it, just this.
God, I don't want to be in here anymore. Katrana, let's go inside.
Jewel, he's going to look behind you.
Just go inside.
I can't move.
Jewel looks behind her.
Good. As you look and turn behind you, towering above you, is a form of pure shadow. Just the outline almost of a humanoid form, but wreathed in total shadow. And in that moment it reaches towards you. Make me a dexterity saving throw, please.
Oh boy. Oh, terrible. This is going so well. It's a 9.
A 9.
Yeah.
Very good. Please hold caller, because I forgot to bring something up. So we'll say this spectral, shadowy hand, this umbral hand, if you like, reaches out towards you, inching closer and closer and closer. Katrana lets out just this little shriek. And then you feel a hand, if you can call it a hand, close around you. And as it touches your fur and connects with your skin, there is a flash in your mind. And it's almost like you see two blue eyes. Just two eyes of brilliant blue. And then you're returned. And the next minute you see another shadowy form just jump into this shadow. And then there is a lantern that just lights up. Inside, girls, now! You see the local cobbler. Go on.
Without a moment's hesitation, they both bolt back down into the window.
Absolutely. Both of you sort of duck in, and in that moment, as you do look back, you see the local cobbler, Eldrin Black, stood there with a lantern in hand, but a rapier or a short sword at his side, as he then just slices at this shadow, and you just hear this as the shadow in the light just dissipates.
I skid back into the room.
And as you skid back into the room, the door flies open, and you see Paige there with a dagger in hand. Girls, what are you doing?
I'm sorry. We were on the roof.
Katrana is in a ball on the floor, just shivering and shaking. What happened?
We were on the roof. There's something... shadow.
I told you to stay inside.
I'm sorry, I just wanted to see. I didn't think we were going to be in trouble up there. I thought we were going to be
Downstairs
safe.
now. Just go. Downstairs.
I try and help Katrana get up, wrap the blanket round her and take it, and go.
And she is visibly just shaking, like pure shock, as she descends down the stairs.
Katrana, I'm so sorry.
Katran says nothing. Stunned silence. Dream is there, and Dream just takes both of you and wraps another blanket around you, sits you in front of the fire. Sit there and do not move. She eventually sort of comes in with 2 cups of cocoa, hot chocolate, places them down in front of you. Drink these. Promise you'll feel better. Katrana, you are okay, my dear. And she sort of pulls Katrana into a hug and just rocks her. It is okay, you are safe. Nothing is going to happen to you inside here. And your mum looks at you. Jewel, this was very foolish.
I'm sorry,
Very
Mama.
foolish.
What was that?
I don't know. I did not see it.
It was like a man made of shadow.
Shoemaker. It was made of shadow?
Yes.
Was it like a ghost or?
I don't think so. I don't know. It could be.
Was it, when you say it was shadow, was it dark? Was it pure darkness, or was it
Yes,
more...
it was like the opposite of looking into the sun. Like bright darkness. I could not see anything. I could only see it from its
Shadows
outline.
indeed. Shadows indeed.
The cobbler saved us.
Indeed. Strange for a cobbler.
I thought we were going to be safe on the roof. I just thought we were going to be able to see it.
You are too inquisitive sometimes, Jewel.
You can see Katrana slowly begin to stop shaking. And then there is a knock at the door again. And the door then sort of flies open as Katrana's father stands there. And the elder Rayleth just sort of walks in, scoops his daughter up.
Thought I could trust you to take better care of my daughter.
Dream just sort of,
We are sorry. Just go, girls, just being too inquisitive for it our own good.
Paige sort of steps in.
Indeed. They are, thankfully, unharmed.
Katrina, I'm sorry.
I think it best if Katraner stay with us and not venture out for a few days. Jewel, I appreciate your apology. I would not want to separate you and Katrana. If you wish to see her, you must come to us. Is this understood? Only under the light of day.
Yes, Papa, really. I'm sorry.
And the elder Rayleth looks at Dream.
We have an identity of what this is now, I trust.
Yes. Some form of shadow creature. I will research. We will see what we know. And we will make a plan.
Very good. Jewel, I will see you tomorrow, no doubt. I hope the two of you...
And the elder Rayleth looks towards your parents.
I hope the two of you have better luck in dealing with these creatures. Strange none of this happened until newcomers came to the village. Always peaceful. Now no longer.
And the elder Rayleth leaves.
Jewel raises her head to ask the question of which newcomers, but for once knows when to keep her mouth shut.
Paige looks at you.
That was foolish. Very foolish.
Tears just start streaming out of her eyes. Just silent tears.
Come here.
And Paige sort of takes you into a hug. And nods you while you sob.
You are okay. You are safe. I think it best, perhaps, for you sleep with your mother in our room tonight. I will keep an eye on the old place.
What? Can they get in?
Not while we have lights burning, I do not think.
Mama, can we have a light
Regardless,
tonight?
we are here. We will sleep with the lanterns on.
And as you sort of walk, you look out, you notice that all of the huts, the thatched buildings, thatched roof buildings, all of them are lit up with some form of light inside. A number of militia are now walking around lighting braziers that have been just sort of plonked at various intervals, lighting torches on the outsides of buildings, carrying torches. And you also see what looks like a large bonfire begin to be built near the well at the centre of the village, and is lit and just emanates fire and warmth and light for a long time. A number of days now pass. In order for you to see Katrana, you have to go to her house, and Katrana is not the same girl that she was. She refuses to leave the house. She talks of nightmares, of whispers. She is endlessly fearful.
Feeling due responsibility, Jewel, over the few days, realising that Katrana's not feeling any better, she starts to look in the books that are in the house and starts feverishly reading them and understanding them and starts taking her own notes, finding anything. And she starts becoming much more inquisitive. She opens up that inquisitive side of her, listening to conversations that she may overhear. It has scared her very much. Her way of dealing with it is to find out what this is, to know, and then she will not fear what she knows. Because she's afraid as
Your
well.
mum spends time with you as well, sort of taking you through some more basic tomes, less fear-inducing, but you, in your true nature, manage to sneak a few of the books off the shelves here and there and hide away and use those moments where nobody's looking to just quickly either snatch a book or return a book. Goes unnoticed. Can I ask you to make me an investigation check, please?
Let's see if I can roll slightly better. That's better. 17.
17, excellent. It is in one book that you flick to a page, and there's a moment where you throw the book down and sort of jump, as you see, drawn in ink on a page, a creature all too similar to that which you saw that night. And you read. There's a simple title, Shadow. It reads, shadows are umbral creatures, undead of sorts that resemble dark exaggerations of humanoid shapes. From our research, it is known that from the darkness, shadows reach out to feed on living creatures' vitality. They consume anything living, but they are especially drawn to those untainted by any form of evil. A creature that lives a life of benevolence, of goodness, of piety, consigns its basest impulse and strongest temptations to the darkness where the shadows hunger. From what we have seen, as shadows drain their victim's strength and physical form, the victim's shadow darkens, begins to move of its own volition. In death, it appears that shadow breaks free, becoming a new undead form, hungry for more life to consume. It is unknown what happens should a creature be returned to life. This will require more research. What we do know is these creatures do not sleep. They do not breathe, they do not drink. They feed, but they feed on vitality. And it is as you sort of then flick to the cover of this book and look at it again, you see this circle with a triangle and an eye in the middle. And it just says, the Chronicles of Research as ordered by the Silent Order of Sithras.
I would suspect that Jewel writes down an abbreviated version of what she read, would attempt a few times, probably trying to get her eye in, to redraw the image, the shadow. And she comes to the realization that she believed that knowledge would mean that she no longer fears it. She couldn't have been more wrong. While she does feel some relief, she's now more scared of it than she was, having read that. But she does, when she closes the book, she makes an earmark in it in the hopes that maybe someone else, she probably suspects her mum, will find the book because she can't tell her mum she found it.
Mm-hmm.
And then she hides it under a, not where she got it from, but under a stack of books that she knows that may get picked up or read or something. And she just hides it, trying to make it look like she's never been anywhere near it.
Excellent.
I think she'd then go back to see Katrana, whether it be that day or the day after. Probably wouldn't want to talk about it with her, knowing she's fragile. But I would like to know if Jewel notices anything about her shadow.
Make me an investigation check with advantage, please.
I would say that it's almost like Jewel is looking, but kind of like, I better not see anything. I hope I don't see anything.
Mm-hmm.
I can't see anything. It can't be right. Perception check or investigation, did you say? Sorry.
Investigation, please.
Investigation. A 12. I think she's...
You spend time with Katrana. And there are those moments where you don't want to look. But you just feel compelled to look. And over days, over weeks, over months, slowly but surely you come to the realization that Katrana's shadow is getting darker.
Once the realization kicks in that there can't be any doubt. Before it was... It's fine. Doesn't look like it. No, it's fine. And then... She must be standing in... It must be darker over there. It must be another reason why it looks different to mine. But once she starts going... No, something wrong here. I'd also feel like Jewel still hasn't been able to tell her mum about finding it. This isn't for a selfish means. This is guilt. This is the inability to be able to admit that she's caused harm to her best friend. She's got to fix it, and that's the only way. It's got to be the only way that she resolves this. She'd probably start feverishly looking for any more information. A cure is what she's looking for. Probably starts in a very stupid place, like some book that talks about putting toad testicles into a tea of leaves, and just like, it must be in this book somewhere.
Yeah, you probably do look in a book which is the rudimentary recipes and restorations of one Rupert Redonkulus or something similar.
Yeah.
And there are some just bizarre concoctions in here. Take a chicken's toe, mix it with the sweat of a pig's brow, stir it thrice on the third night of a full moon, only for a period of 10 minutes to cure all fear and things like this. And
when she reads another recipe and it says use a cat's tail, she closes the book and throws it away.
Yeah, you put that one back and you realise why they were called Rupert the Redonkulus. You continue looking and you find a few more books of more pious nature, shall we say. There's books that talk about divine ritual and certain things in there. I will give you for free that as you begin to read these, you realise that you're going to need somebody of a pious nature, a cleric, or somebody with that connection. And here in the village, there's just nobody that really fits that bill.
There's not really anyone who, other than May and Aura, no one that she's seen openly use magic.
Absolutely.
Probably hasn't even really noticed a druid do anything. Kind of bloody good harvest, but I haven't noticed much else
Yeah.
from what they're doing.
Absolutely. And indeed, magic is almost frowned upon, especially with everything that begins to happen within Stonebark. Any talk of magic or the arcane becomes something of disdain.
I don't know whether Jewel would read this or would just make the connection, but she kind of feels like maybe the use of magic nearby in such a natural and ordered, natural place is possibly why these things have come about. And that could honestly be down to just her upbringing of a very natural way.
Absolutely. I'll say you notice Mayanora become less of herself, becomes more insular as well as these things begin to happen. She spends a lot of time now to herself. Even when she's in the house with you, she's just sort of sat quietly. We'll say we're on an evening, or close to an evening, where Mayanora's just pulling her cloak on to sort of go home, and she just mutters a farewell and heads to the door and sort of sees you there and looks at you. Do you do anything?
Maynora, are you okay?
No, to be honest, Jewel. I do not know if these things that plague our village are my fault.
Jules looking down at her at Mayanora's shadow, and then just snaps up when she's like, "What? Why would they be your fault?"
Because it wasn't happening until I found my gift. My curse, I guess. Maybe it's me that's drawing them here.
Have you done any more since then? Looking around like...
Not on purpose. Not on purpose. It happens like with Katrana before. When I least expect it, when it is, when my emotions are high, I guess. With what happened to Katrana not long after I saved her, touched her with my magic. Maybe it's my magic that draws them here. To her.
Jewel has that visible look of... That does, the immediate look of, that doesn't make sense, and then... that might make sense. Like, they were outside on the first night that one of these things actually attacked. That was crazy. So yeah, she doesn't. She maybe just looks a bit distant for a couple of seconds.
I'm actually going to have Mayanora make an insight check when I pull up her character sheet. Let's see if she sees that. Oh, it's not great. Go on the dice. 4. No. In fact, do you know what? Just for shits and giggles, she got passive insight of 12. So she sort of does see it. Kind of.
See, even you begin to doubt me now, Jewel.
No.
Never mind.
No, I don't.
It's okay. It's okay. Don't go outside, okay?
I won't. How come you can go outside though?
But it's not quite dark yet. I'm heading home.
Then go, please. Be safe.
You too, little one. Look after your sister.
I will.
Very good. Mayanora steps outside and disappears. That night, you are asleep in your bed. Fairly standard sleep, restful night, but there's a moment where you hear a piercing scream sound throughout the night. A scream that wakes the village.
Bolt upright. And we'll head downstairs, but not go outside. We'll go up to the door, go to the window next to the door, and look out over the village centre.
Make me a perception check, please.
Dirty 20.
Dirty 20. Perfect moment this. You see Katrana run into the forest.
Has Paige, her dad, left any tools, weapons, small dagger, anything near the door? Has he been?
There's a standard sort of, I'll say, it's a cross between sort of a kitchen knife and a dagger, which Paige tends to use to just cut bits of leather when he's crafting things more than anything. You don't know where Paige or Dream are right now. Bronze is still slumbering in their crib, but there is that little dagger there.
She's going to grab the dagger, grab her cloak and a lantern, and she's going to do this real quick. And then she's going to open the door and run after Katrana.
Okay, excellent stuff. You dash after Katrana out into the darkness, out into the woods. You can see and you hear Katrana just, no, get away! And she continues just bolting through.
Katrana! 'Tis me, Jewel!
No, get away! She continues to run and run. You realise she's heading towards an old quarry.
I drop the lantern so that I can go into a full four-legged sprint after her.
Amazing. So you drop this lantern and your feline agility kicks in as you then just begin to bolt throughout. And you see Katrana just running blindly and hovering the trees next to her almost parallel at the same speed as just this shadowy form. Just
Get away from her!
Katrana gets to the edge of this quarry and just stops and looks over. And she turns as this shadowy creature begins to just descend down and bear down on her. What do you do in this moment?
Probably, depending on how close I am to it, I'd run up to it. Probably halfway through my dash, I would think Shadow probably can't grapple it, so would try and stop and then just kind of see if there's anything to grab.
Okay. Let's roll some initiative.
Yeah! Fan fucking dabby dozy on that one. Not.
What'd you roll?
I So I've got to find my modifier, sorry. That's a 7.
A 7. Everybody rolled shit on that one is all I'm going to say. So even with a 7, you are up first.
So yeah,
So
I kind
you
of
dash into to set the scene now. There's sort of the edge of the quarry, the forest. Katrana's right on the edge right now with this shadow creature looming over her in the darkness. You are about 30 feet away as you then move up. And it is your turn. What would you like to do?
okay. So yeah, I get 30 foot up to up next to it, and if it's you say it was like leaning forward, like to grab Katrana.
Yeah, it is literally bearing down, those sort of hands outstretched to go and reach towards her.
So I would go for the arm of this creature, sort of the elbow, and just try and like grab hold with both hands and pull away. I guess that would be in effect an attempt at a grapple or something.
Make me a grapple check then, please.
It's just gonna go well. Grapple strength check from me.
It is a contested strength check.
Strength from me and athletics from them, isn't it? Is that right? Something like that.
It's a strength athletics check for you, or an athletics or acrobatics check for me.
Okay, 11.
11. This creature cannot be grappled. As you
Marvellous.
reach forward, your arms just pass through it.
Yeah, I mean, it's the instincts from her to try. I don't think there would be much else for her to try. Yeah, that's pretty much how it go. Katrana, move away from the quarry.
This shadow then, its form, it's almost like its head just phases and is now, you feel like it's now looking at you. And it is going to move towards you.
Get away from her. Get away from her.
What's your armor class, please?
I'm just going to double check that's right, because I don't know if it is. Bear with. I mean, yeah. Looks like it probably is. No, bear with. So what would it usually be? Why have I got... I seem to have armour on. Hang on, let's take that off, because I wouldn't have that on. 13. There we go. That makes sense.
13. I mean, this creature goes to reach towards you, and with a 12, you just sort of scrabble backwards as it misses you, and sort of the hand just whips past you. Its attention is now fully on you. What are you doing?
I mean, totally not knowing about opportunity attacks. Would... It's on me. Yeah, would always try and walk away, like back away, looking at it, so that it would kind of follow me. The only other thing I would do, and I would full on make it an action, is shout help.
Okay. So you shout help in this moment. You scream it out really loud, and then you take a few steps back. I'm actually not going to give this an opportunity attack in this moment, because it takes its turn immediately after yours at this point. And it just begins to creep closer to you. And there's this slow sort of standoff moment in this. It is going to try and reach for you once again. Fucking 6 on the dice that time, so that's a 10.
What does Katrana do at this point?
Katrana is frozen in fear at this moment. Just frozen. She's not moving.
Looking back up at presumably a very distant light of a half-shattered lantern on the ground, but probably not a lot else, and probably can't even see any of the lights from the village, is going to... is then going to remember the dagger. He's going to stumble for it, and he's going to then... fuck it, he's going to attack with it.
Very good.
Yeah.
Roll to please.
So... nice. 18.
Oh, absolutely. You take that dagger out, and with just the determination of saving your friend, you swipe at this creature and slash across this spectral form. Roll damage, please.
With unknown dexterity, a full 7 piercing damage of a non-magical weapon.
Non-magical weapon. So as you do slice across, you can see that the arms like you cut through the form, and there's this tiny, tiny wisp of shadow that just wisps away. As you cut through it, then anything else on your turn?
No, I'd probably, assuming this standoffish nature, would probably ever so slightly turn and would be, like, again, keeping it in front of me, but I'd be walking back up the path back towards the village. And would be, Katrana, snap out of it! And that's it.
Very good. As you swipe across this creature, then in that moment you call out to Katrana, you just hear her go, Jewel! Jewel! And the shadow and quickly flies towards her with its 40 feet of movement speed. Descends down on top of her and is going to reach out to try and...
I would probably swipe at it as it turns.
Opportunity attack?
Again, she wouldn't really know, but fuck it. Would miss with a 8.
You do, as it sort of literally soars off and flies off. You take a wild slash and miss, and it descends down onto Katrana, and its hands then just grab her and lift her up.
No!
Katrana is going to take 6 points of necrotic damage.
Oh, you fucker.
And you see just Katrana sort of squeaking as the hands wrap around her throat. And it's not strangling her as such, but you can just see it becoming darker. Her shadow, from what you can see, even in this dim light, is getting darker as well. And the light in her tabaxi eyes is slowly getting dimmer. It is now your go.
Jill thinks of throwing the dagger and then worries that she might hit Katrana. And with how would this work? Yeah. With unparalleled speed, as she has shown tonight, she would use her feline agility to close that gap. And would try and swipe again at the back of this creature.
Absolutely. Very good. I'm going to technically give you a flanking advantage of this.
So plus 1?
2.
Plus 2?
Plus 2.
13 to hit.
13 will just hit. You will also get sneak attack on this. If you get sneak attack at this current level.
I think I have sneak. Oh, I do. Yes. Yeah, I do have one. So that is that much. And that much. 8 points of piercing, non-magical.
8 points of piercing damage. As you descend out of the darkness, something just kicks in. Something innate. And you take that dagger and stab in. And as you stab in, it finds sort of perches and bites into this spectral form, and then you slip down as the spectral form releases the dagger. And more of that inky blackness just wisps away. And it's almost like that inky blackness is just continuing to wisp away at this point. There's a... as this creature is now classed as bloodied.
Ooh.
As you then fall to the ground, sort of land on your feet and take that dagger back, there is a sound And in a puff of mist, Eldrin Black, the cobbler, appears and swipes across this shadow with a short sword. And you just hear him sort of shout, "Be gone!" That's not great. But again, we'll add flanking onto that as well, which is 12, and I believe that's the magic number. It is. Thank fuck for that. What a shit show that was about to be. Two, 6. Plus 3 of them. 6 and 12. 16. 18 points of damage. And he swipes across. And as he swipes across, the shadow just bursts into nothing. And as it bursts into nothing, it drops Katrana.
I think the burst would also push Jewel back a couple of feet.
There's a moment where you see Katrana's eyes as drained of as much strength, almost as much strength as she has, connect with you as she drops, and she scrabbles to hold onto the edge. And you just see her claw. And there's no scream. You see Eldrin dart forward to try and grab and miss. As you are thrown back. And you just hear this muffled thump.
No. No. No, Katrana. No.
Eldrin at this point is just going to sort of wrap his arms around you. Come on, Joel. We have to leave. We have to get back to the light now. Now. Come on.
No.
Come on. There's nothing you can do for her. Come on.
If you've ever tried to hold a cat when it doesn't want to, this is exactly what it's like.
Mm-hmm. And you do, like, your claws rake down his arms, and there's bits where your tail flicks in his face. But eventually, there's just... strength almost leaves you as sorrow grips you. And he carries you back to the village. You see a number of... in fact, the whole village is out with torches lit, and they were entering into the forest as Eldrin carries you out and hands you over to Dream and Paige, who just hold you tightly. And Eldrin then walks over to Elder Raylith and his wife. I am so very sorry, my friends.
Oh, she can't be
I did
gone.
not get there in time. She... It was not enough. It was never enough.
No.
Katrana's mother just begins to wail and sob and scream into the night. The Elder Raylith sort of grabs her and takes her back as the village sort of surround them and take them back in their grief. In the morning, Katrana's body is recovered. And over the coming days, the period of mourning begins. And the Tabaxi funeral traditions begin. Painted stones, stories, the final rites on that third night, as Katrana is laid to rest. Jewel, as Katrana is laid to rest on that final night, what do you do?
No one really would have seen Jewel for the mourning period. Unusual for the tradition, and it's meant to be that you do. but she is overcome with grief. When it quietens down, however, and when she sees that not many people are around, she does go up to where Katrana's laid. She hasn't done a painted stone. She couldn't. But she just goes up, and at this point, she's cried all of her tears. But she doesn't look any better. She stands next to Katrana's body and says, "I couldn't save you. I'll make sure this never happens to anyone else. Never." You'll be with me always.
As you kneel down at Katrana's grave, the light still burning around you, a hand just rests on your shoulder. Hello, little one.
It's not fair.
It really is.
I'll end this.
If you want to end this, you're going to need to train.
Yeah.
You showed certain skills out there. Skills I think I can help you with.
They weren't good enough.
Then let's make them good enough.
Thank you.
Come. There's nothing more you can do for her now.
I didn't do her a stone. I'll do something better.
Indeed. I've not been one to adopt these tabaxi traditions since I moved here, but I was always more one for honouring memories. So let's do that.
Yes, let's.
He holds out a hand to you as you now look up into the face of Eldrin Black, the local cobbler who, now you think on it, has shown skills beyond that of a standard shoemaker. Eldrin himself, to describe how he looks, is, or appears around about 30 years of age. He's a half-elf. He has these sharp facial features, piercing grey eyes, and they're always looking around. His hair is this mix of black and silver, and it's tied back into this neat ponytail. And he always wears dark, form-fitting clothing when he's not got his cobbler's apron over the top. There's always pockets. There's always compartments where he keeps a number of tools. On his finger is a ring. A silver ring. He looks down at you as he sort of helps you up. Jewel of shadows. Shadows in true nature as well. If I am going to teach you, there are secrets that must remain between you and I that you cannot tell others, no matter how much you want to.
I can keep a secret.
Then let this be the first one. You know me as Elder in Black, but in truth, I go by another name. This is merely a front. My true name is Silas Greyshade, and I was once a member of an organization called the Serpent's Cloak. I think I can help you.
Thank you.
Let's take you home. We begin tomorrow. I'll speak to your parents and tell them that you're coming to apprentice with me. I'll make up some story about it being a distraction from Katrana. I'm sure they'll agree.
I do not have words for gratitude. I will
Do not thank me yet.
be.
This is going to be hard.
I'm prepared for it to be hard.
Good. Eldrin, or Silas, as you now know them, takes you back home. And in the morning, there is a knock on the door, and you've had a not so great night's sleep, I imagine. Eldrin sort of converses with your mum and dad, and Dream comes upstairs.
Jewel, Eldrin is here to take you for your first day. You sure you're ready for this?
I need the distraction, Mama.
Okay, baby girl. You know your dad and I are always here for you.
I know.
Okay.
It is always lovely
Try
to
and
come
have
home.
some fun.
She puts a fake smile on. Yes. I will.
There's my beautiful girl. Go on then, off you go. Remember, back before nightfall.
I know.
Excellent stuff. You spend weeks, months, years training with Silas. You level up out of game. And you begin to take on the skills of a rogue. But Silas teaches you not just how to sneak, not just how to hide and attack from the shadows, but how to use your agility, how to use your cunning to find information, to seek that which others miss. Taps into your true inquisitive nature. And at the same time, tells you about the Serpent's Cloak. An organization that to this day remains hidden, although somewhat known about throughout the world of Ardalia, throughout the land. This thieves' guild of sorts, as he describes it to you. An organization of gifted individuals who, when needed, provide certain services to remove individuals, but are more often than not collectors of information, collectors of artifacts, you learn a number of skills. Skills that are there necessary to combat what's the right term? The impending threat, shall we say. The unseen threats. But at the same time, as you descend into this training, you become more insular. You become ostracized as somewhat from the rest of the village, apart from your family. Excuse me. Those individuals who once would have looked upon you with fondness now see nothing but a memory and a reminder of the horror that has befallen this village.
Jewel often keeps her hood up a lot more. So when she's walking around, even in daylight, her face is partially in shadow.
And it's a skill that you begin to take on, just being able to blend and hide, even in the plainest of circumstances, so that you don't have to interact with the others. Your resolve begins to harden. And then Silas sort of looks on you one day. Well, Jewel, I'm not sure there's much else I can teach you. Not here, at least. I don't want to make this decision for you, but I think you need to head elsewhere now. I think you need to leave the village to go find the extra answers that you seek.
It has crossed my mind. The shadows have not been going away, and we have not gleaned any more information. I'm guessing, however, asking the Serpent's Cloak is not wise, from everything you have taught me.
On the contrary, I was going to suggest you might need to seek them out. Don't mention my name, of course. It's probably worth trying to find them.
Yes, then perhaps I will. One question, Ow. You say it is nearly impossible to find them, so...
I think I've taught you enough now to recognize subtleties in individuals.
We shall see.
You know of the cant of the veiled vipers now. You know how to reach out to them, should you need to, and find the right birds to whisper. And I know in this village it's frowned upon, but I think you better take this as well. He takes that ring off his finger. Just holds it out to you. I don't need it.
Presume I've seen it in action. I know I've seen it in action. I know I've seen it in action now.
Yes, you have seen this in action, and indeed there's been moments where you've been training with Silas, and he just seems to disappear into mist and appear behind you, and it frustrates you every single time, because there's no way you can get to them in that moment. But he just holds out this ring. It's got limited uses throughout the day, so use it wisely.
She reaches her palm for it. This is very generous. Thank you. I will use it wisely and sparingly. It is weird. I thought that all magic was... Well, I even thought it was possibly causing it around here, but you using it and us seeing anything, I have not seen a correlation. It flies in the face of what I believe in, but regardless, I will use it wisely.
I'm on the same lines as you, I guess, with that. I've seen magic do good things. I've also seen it do fucking awful things as well. This is my limit. Maybe it can be yours.
Well, I suppose I will need to find if I can get the information elsewhere then.
Indeed. If you are going to leave, I suggest you head south. Cross the river onto one of the islands. There's potentially some people there that can help, if you find the right ones.
Whew. No, it is time. Yes.
I've crafted this for you, so you can show your parents. It's a complete forgery, of course. But it is a letter from a sort of school of cobblers. It should be enough to convince them that it's sort of the next step on your apprenticeship.
Thank you. I must write more of my own letters and see how I get on.
I think you'll be fine. You're already well versed at copying things that even I struggle with. I think perhaps, to start with at least, head for Eleanor.
You
Hopefully you'll
would
find
suggest
something.
not via the city to the west? Definitely head
Riot
south?
Gate. Too many druids.
Good, I shall head south then.
Very good. Right. The sun's setting soon. I do not want to get on your father's bad side.
I shall give them the letter tonight, and I shall pack. And I shall go.
Very good. Go with my blessings, Jewel of Shadows. May the Serpent's Cloak find you, and may they find use of you. May you find use of them. At least more than I did, anyway.
One day perhaps you'll have to tell me why you've decided to come here. Retire, as it were.
Hopefully one day you'll figure it out for yourself, and I won't have to.
Perhaps.
Perhaps.
Jewel will do a very unusual Jewel thing at this point, having grown up the way she does, and she will actually go in for a hug. He's
And
been
sort
quite
of
mental.
shocks Silas for a minute, and he just sort of holds you and then chuckles. If you're planning on stabbing me in the back, you should know that I've already got a short sword pointing at the back of your neck.
Damn it. I wanted to see if I could catch you off guard.
And he sort of releases you, and you do see the short sword in his hand, which he then just sheathes again. Go, before your father collars me.
And she does.
Very good. As you exit out, there's a bizarre sight in the village. Really bizarre. There are people in blue cloaks
blue robes, carrying staves with crystals in them, entering into the village. And you can see Auntie Hermela there, conversing with one of them, with Mayanora behind her.
What do you mean you need my Mayanora? You bugger off!
And there's this low sort of muttering, but with your inquisitive and highly perceptive nature, you sort of pick up on the conversation.
Your daughter has particular gifts that Master Alaric of the Crystalline Isle would like to study, would like to help with. He has seen her. He can help her control them. He can help you control them.
This individual looks past Auntie Hermela at this point.
Mayanor, is it? I know you are scared of what you can do. Let us help you. Come with us. It is rare that we travel this far, on this rudimentary means, at least. But you have unique gifts.
You're not taking my Mayanora nowhere!
Auntie Amela. Shh now. Shh. I love you. But I think I better go. You can help me with, you know what?
Are you sure, my dear? You're safe here.
Am I?
I guess not.
Canine cameo.
Oh, what am I gonna do without you, my dear? I'm sure I'll be back soon. It won't be for long, will it?
It will take as long as it is necessary to help you.
Mayanora just kisses her auntie on the head.
I have to do this, but I will be back soon. As soon as I can.
Alright, my dear, alright.
There's tearful goodbyes as Mayanora packs up, and you just sort of watch this go on from the shadows. And as these mages, it's the only way to describe them, as these mages begin to leave with Mayanora in tow, she looks to where you hide in the shadows. And it's just this gentle smirk. She bows her head towards you. And Mayanora leaves. You head back to your family home. You present the letter to them. You explain. And for the sake of brevity, the conversation is had. There's a bit of back and forth about it, but you convince your mum and dad that it is time for you to step out on your own. Bronze at one point sort of comes up to you.
Do you have to leave, sister? Really?
I won't be too long, but I need to ensure that I can provide. I've grown up now. I need to make sure I can do stuff. I'm going to come back, and I'm going to watch you grow.
What am I meant to do? What am I going to do?
You are going to have lots of fun.
I suppose I can spend my days hunting.
Go out into the forest. Own your skills. But make sure you're back before sunset.
I always am.
Good. You shall have many stories from me as I shall of you. Although, I'm sure it'll be quite boring at the school.
You have to make shoes. I can't imagine anything more. Eek.
It is good, honest work.
Okay, whatever you say.
I ruffle Bronze's hair.
Yeah.
She sort of smooths it back down into just sort of little bangs that come down between her ears.
Okay. Bring me something back.
I will.
Very good then. You have not a tearful goodbye, but a heartfelt goodbye with your family the next day, as they pack you up with rations and necessary bits of equipment for your journey. Your father even provides you a map of Drymere. Sort of just shows you, if you're heading to Eleanor, you'll need to head south to here. There's a particular crossing that you'll need. There's a ferry there. I'm doing the wrong voice totally. There is a ferry there. Well, here. Shouldn't be no more than this. And hand you 2 gold pieces. If they try and charge you more than that, they are trying to rob you blind. Make sure. In fact, if it's more than 1 gold piece, they're definitely trying to rob you blind. Should be no more than maybe 3 or 4 silver.
I shall try and get it for 3 silver then.
That's my goal. You take care. Enjoy your schooling. It's good to see you flourishing.
I will write to both of you as often as I can.
Please do. Please do.
Keep Ron safe.
I will do my very best. You know that one is a whirlwind. I am told this is second child problems, but we will see.
I shall see you
Very good.
all very soon.
Be safe, my dear. We will be here for you when you get back.
Look after Mayanora's
And
auntie.
you.
Auntie Amela will be well looked after by the whole village, I'm sure. If they don't, well, she will make it known.
I need to go before I need to get out of the forest before it gets too dark.
Indeed, make sure you are safe. Travel only by daylight if you have to.
I will.
Make sure wherever you camp there is much light around you. Do
I
not
have my
give these
lantern.
creatures any excuse. Good. Good. Oh, and Mother can't but worry. Be safe, my dear.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. And you head off into the forest and head south towards the city of Eleanor. And I believe that is where we are going to take a short break. And yeah, so what a great first half. Emotional as fuck, but there we go. If I said one thing about these origin stories, it was going to be trauma.
Yeah.
So there we go. But yes, thank you all for joining us for the first half. We hope you've enjoyed it. We will be back soon. Hello.
Hello.
There we go. Hopefully everybody's had a chance to sort of decompress from the emotional trauma that was the first half of that origin story.
Jill had such a
but look how
lovely
badass
upbringing.
Jewel looks.
She does look badass. She's
She does
ready
look awesome.
to
Yeah,
travel.
we managed to get some of the art absolutely right there. Now, on the subject of art, just before I forget, we will, and you will see over the next few days, some updated artwork for Malt and Magic, which I'll be putting on things like the website. We'll put it on social media as well, and that's for our main party out of main campaign 2. And that has been wonderfully designed and created in a very sketch type art style, which I actually really love. It looks awesome.
It's
By a
very
friend of
good.
mine called Becky, so I wanted to give her a huge shout out on stream because she put a lot of effort into it, and they have come out really, really well as these little sketch type drawings. So I'm looking
Thank
forward
you,
to
Becky.
seeing them on stream. Yep, thank you, Becky. You are awesome, amazing. But that being said, let's dive back in. Jewel, you have left the village of Stonebark Village, and are now heading south. And it takes you a couple of days, realistically, if I bring up the map and just work that out. Where are we? Yes, it will take a couple of days. You get to the coastline as you sort of wander around the edge of the Drymerian forest, actually, and eventually come to the edge of this bay, if you like, which holds the 3 islands of Drymere within this bay, as the forest then surrounds it, and the forest actually grows onto these islands as well. And you do manage to find the ferry that you need to use. It is the Eleanor Ferry Crossing, funnily enough, in the most unoriginal name I come up with tonight. And for shits and giggles, as you do approach, the ferryman sort of says, Eleanor, is it? Well, that'll be costing you at least a gold, my dear.
No, it won't. 3 gold, 3 silver is all you need.
3 gold? Oh, shit. 3 silver. I'm not sure I can be... Oh, you see, it's a bit of a dodgy crossing these days. So, I might be needing a little pinch more than 3 silver. Make me a persuasion check, please.
Persuasion. Natural 20.
Fuck's sake. This individual starts this yarn about, I'll need a little pinch more than 3 silver. Yeah, see that bit? And you just, like, literally dead-eye them. Deadpan face. Fine, 3 fucking silver it is then. On your merry way. And so you hand him a gold piece, and he hands you the 7 silver that he needs to back.
Thank you.
You're very welcome, madam. Very grumpy ferryman, but then just begins to, as a couple of other people join as well. Number of elves mainly, and half-elves. You embark on this ferry crossing across the bay, very uneventful. There's probably a smattering of drizzle as you cross over to Eleanor, and as you land in Eleanor at the other side of the ferry crossing, you can see this small-ish city, which is a still elven architecture, if you like, but this picturesque coastal city that is nestled on one of those 3 islands of Dryad's Cove, we will call it. Just for, again, shits and giggles, because I'd not come up with a name for that particular piece now, and now it's called Dryad's Cove.
It is, it's called that now.
Given we've got Dryad's Gate, so Dryad's Cove, bollocks to it. If we compare it to what we know of Dryad's Gate, then this is very much smaller and more intimate compared to the grandeur of that particular forest-bound city. The architecture, again, blends seamlessly with the surrounding nature. There's a lot of flowing curves and structure that mimic the shapes of waves and seashells. The buildings are predominantly made from lighter coloured woods and stones that then reflect the sun's rays, and it gives the city this luminous quality at both dawn and dusk. The streets are lined with these vibrant marketplaces that sell fresh seafoods. There's artisan crafts, rare herbs that are only found in this particular part of Drymere. And there are a number of canals that then cut through the city as well, serving as waterways for small boats that locals then use for transportation and trade. And it adds to this feeling of serenity and this flowing atmosphere within the city. As you enter and sort of begin to wander around, there's a few areas that sort of catch your eye. You pass an area that's known as the Mariner's Wharf, which is where the fishermen and traders sort of bring in their daily catch and goods from across the seas. There is the Siren's Rest, which is a popular tavern amongst a lot of sailors and travellers. It's known for its very strong spirits. And Tales of the Sea. You passed a library of sorts, if you like, known as the Sea Mist Library, which is known to harbour maps, sea charts and manuscripts detailing the history and lore of elven people, their interactions with their ocean, amongst other things as well. You see an ancient lighthouse. This is Eleanor's lighthouse itself. This has guided ships for centuries. rumours, as you begin to hear them, as you spend a little bit of time in the city, that is this enchanted, this lighthouse is enchanted in some ways to ward off sea spirits and storms. And then there is an area known as the Crystal Cove. It's this secluded part of the beach, known for crystal clear waters and sort of apparently mystical properties. There's local legends that speak of the waters offering visions to those who to those who seek truth. What would you like to do?
First day or two that I'd be in the city would be going to the library and asking for their I don't know what they would call them, but basically their newspaper archives to look through.
Okay.
Starting with, is there any interesting shit that sounds familiar to what we've been going through? And of course getting possibly the unusual, and she would be again looking at, there may be, is there a news article, but also going back to the agony columns of, has someone gone missing or whatever. So, would be looking through the whole thing. That would be her first step, really.
Very good. Make me an investigation check, please.
12.
Very good. So you collect a number of different sort of articles, and to begin with, a lot of them are interesting, but don't necessarily relate to exactly what you're trying to look for. You see one particular tabloid type rag called the Eleanor Echo. Talks about mysterious lights over the bay. And there's this particular text that talks about residents and sailors alike startled last evening by unusual swirling lights over the bay. Lights described as shimmering green and blue, appearing just after sunset, causing much speculation and awe. Local scholars suggest a naturally rare phenomenon, while superstitious folk whisper of omens and sea spirits. There's another one that... Fuck me, newspaper clippings. Yeah, talks of fish stocks in decline. Let's use the news of the day. Fish stocks in decline. Fishermen demand action. There's another one that talks about Festival of the Tides approaching. And eventually you think, do you know what? Yeah, okay, these are potentially interesting if I need to go and find something to do while I'm here, but actually I need stuff that's more interesting. So make me another investigation check.
15.
15. Much, much better. You sift through all of these different newspaper clippings. My tongue is just slowly giving up today, apparently, trying to form words. And there are a number of particular clippings that, two in fact, we'll say, that draw your eye as you delve deeper. Again, there's one from this tabloid newspaper known as the Eleanor Echo. The headline is "Shadowy Figures Spotted Near Shoreline at Dusk." And it talks about the fact that several locals have reported seeing strange shadowy figures near the shoreline at dusk over the past few days. Sightings have coincided with a slight chill in the air. There's this unseasonable mist that rolls in from the sea each evening. Authorities have dismissed the reports as fog-induced mirages or the like, but the frequency seems to be increasing. There's a second newspaper, let's call it the Coastal Courier. Fuck me.
Sure.
Yeah, testing me today, mate. Jesus. Which again is close to sort of stories that you heard out of Stonebark. There's this one that talks about unexplained disappearances rattle fishing community. And again, there's this disturbing trend that continues to grow. It's about 3 more fishermen have vanished this week under mysterious circumstances. All of those disappearances occurred at night, with boats found adrift in the morning, devoid of crew, but filled with a strange inky residue on the decks, we will say. Local officials urge caution, those sorts of things. That's what you manage to pick up as you do a little bit of investigation in the library, so to speak.
She'd either take copies or make her own copies of those and then just squirrel them away with her, but would then pop to an adventure supply shop and it probably exchange with a short amount of copper or silver her lantern for a hooded lantern. And then would then use that one lit in the evenings to then try and head out just outside of the city towards the beaches and try and see if she can find any of the same thing. She's been up against one of these things before. She knows that it's scary, but she knows what she's looking for, and she hopes that the hooded lantern will give her the edge, and if she needs to, she can open it up and find out if they're scared of light, because they didn't come in to the village or the houses when there was light. So she hopes that that is her aid.
Very good. So we'll say you sort of hang around the wharf for a little bit and you sort of wander through. Eventually you find one particular sailor, we'll call him a drunken sailor, sat there.
Aye there, missy, you're well. Fancy a drink?
I think that there is not enough for the two of us, and perhaps you should drink it all.
It appears I already have. Rum's always gone.
Why is the rum always gone?
Well played, sir.
I like you, you're a funny one, you are. Name's Stallion. What might you be called?
Oh. Okay, is Jewel gonna use her name?
What would Silas have taught you?
Oh, yes, absolutely. The name is Diamond. Dyer for short.
As he munches on a bit of jerky.
Diamond. Diamond. That's a mighty fine name. Dyer. Dyer. That sounds a bit like dire circumstances, though.
Oh,
I'll
no.
stick with Diamond, my dear.
Yeah, if you will.
Speaking of dire circumstances, you're not heading down towards the, well, you're not heading down towards the cove, are you? Or down towards the beach?
Oh, no, why? But I wouldn't think of it. Why'd you say?
Aye, it's for the best, for the best. It's, apparently strange, well, I heard him the other night, too. Strange, eerie, whisper-like noises. Unsettling us sailors and fishermen at these nights. Best to be avoided. Stick to where there's light.
Are sailors, often quite, superstitious?
Oh, yes. Always superstitious. You see, we have to go with the omens of the sea. If there's any sort of sea witches or sea omens, then you don't want to be sailing under bad omens.
And these, whispers? Are these, found on the same nights as the lights? Green and yellow lights?
Oh, I heard about these lights. I've not seen them particular. But,
Surely that's
whispers,
just
oh, you've-
ships and stuff, those lights. Surely. Yeah.
I've seen plenty of lights in the sky and traveling through down. If you've ever been down to the Auroran Empire, then mind you want to see lights in the sky, you head down there. Fantastical displays.
I am heading south in a few days. Perhaps I shall continue on that way.
It's a mighty long way, though. You'll be needing plenty of coin to get there. Unless you got skyship connections. You don't get them round here, but...
Perhaps on one of my other travels. Anyway, I shall be sure to avoid the beach and the cove. But you have a good night and don't drink too much.
Just avoid the grotto that's down. It's known as Echo Grotto. You can't miss it. It's the only fucking little cave grotto den thing. More rum. Ooh. And he finds a bottle of rum just next to him that he realised is totally unopened. Just pops the cork.
Oh. By the time he turns back, Jules no longer there.
Diamond? Well, fuck me.
Jules slinks off into the darkness. Where's Jules going?
She is very much going to find where these whispers and stuff has been showing. So the grotto, the grove, and down near the beach. She doesn't want to go exactly where she thinks they are. She wants to overlook where they may be.
Very good. So you head down onto the beach, and indeed, as the sun does dip down, and we just hear the gentle lapping of waves on the shore, and you sort of stealth around. Make me a perception check, please.
Come on, be good. Be good. Very good. Perception?
Mm-hmm.
21.
21. It's not long before you begin to hear whispering sounds. Just and you look further down the beach, beyond sort of I can't remember what we called it now.
Echo, grotto.
Beyond the Crystal Cove.
That's
Crystal
the one.
Cove. And you see a strange sort of cave-like structure, if you like.
I can hear that, but
Mhm.
I can't see anything between myself and the Crystal Cove
And the grotto, yeah.
and the grotto. I mean, curiosity killed the cat, so...
Fantastic.
yeah, I'm going.
Very good.
Lit
are you going in
lit
stealthily?
lantern in...
Lit
hooded
lantern.
lit
Very good.
in the cape, ready to be used at a moment's notice, but is trying to make sure that she does not draw attention to herself. Hoods up,
Okay.
stealthing away.
Maybe a stealth check then, please.
With advantage.
Mm-hmm.
Dirty 20.
Dirty 20. You sneak up to the mouth of this cave then, and those whisper sounds just get louder and louder. You sort of sneak into the mouth of the cave. The whispers louder and louder. Maybe an investigation check, please.
I'm rolling well tonight. Well, now. 18. I'm rolling shit earlier. Nah, it's brilliant.
You and me both. Didn't roll above a 9.
No, you really didn't before.
You get into the entrance of this cave and very quickly realise that actually it's the formation of this cave that seems to cause these whispers. It's the wind mimicking sounds, whispering sounds if you like, but there is an unnatural volume to it.
I'll head further in like an idiot.
Okay, maybe another stealth check, please.
17.
17, you do manage to sort of sneak and you stick to the edge of the cave, sort of keeping the lantern hooded, and descend further and further into this cave. And as you descend further and further, these whisper sounds just get louder and louder and louder. Make me a perception check, please.
Natural 20 again.
There's a moment where in the darkness you
For
see like a
23.
pinprick of light. Fuck, 23. You see a pinprick of light, but then you also see this strange metal arm-like thing that then opens out into a tube. So, opens out into a bit of a funnel, if you like. Almost like the end of a trumpet. What are you doing?
Can't see anyone around. Just this.
Not at the minute.
Uh,
Just this tube.
I'm gonna try and get close to it and try and see. I'm not going to touch it. I'm going to see if I can notice. Is this clearly manufactured? Is clearly made. That is the assumption. But is it enhanced magically? And she would look, because she doesn't really know much about that. It would be, are there weird carvings? I think that's probably the best that she would know from her readings. If there are symbols and glyphs on it, than actually looking for magical arcane essence, if that makes sense.
Okay. If you are just looking for markings, then make me an investigation check.
Yeah, her arcane knowledge is crap. So the investigation would be 17.
17. You go closer to this metallic tube and there's no arcane markings. It's just literally like pieces of sheet metal that have been bound together into this tubular format that then opens into this trumpet-like thing. And as you then sort of get round to the end, the whisper is in like really loud and it's literally like wind roaring past your head, and you realise in this moment this particular mechanism is causing those whispers to be of an uncanny loudness. What's your passive perception, please?
14.
14. At this point, then, you just hear from in the cave, just...
Oh, yes.
Turn around for what? Where did that come from?
So that's further into the cave, towards that pinprick of light.
Yep, gonna keep going.
Very good. You stealthing in?
Yep.
Make me a stealth check.
That's another 17.
Another 17. You head towards the light then, and you stick to the shadows as your name dictates. And eventually, towards the end of this tube, which you can see then opens out and sort of seems to have multiple feeder tubes, if you like, from various points around the end of this cave. You can see that there is a lantern held up on a hook, and there's a small little camp in there, and there's a small gnome just sort of dancing around and laughing to himself.
Loads of these, or like a bunch of these different pipes are just making this way, like ending at him.
A bunch of pipes that then
Yeah,
go
yeah.
into one major pipe, yeah.
Kind of like this is, they feed that massive trumpet thing.
Yeah,
that
it's
I've
like a
had.
big fuck-off funnel, essentially.
Yeah.
Essentially, yeah.
Jewel will come out of the shadows once the gnome's back is turned to where she is, and will then just go, enjoying scaring people.
And as this gnome laughs, they're just like,
What?
and there's just this sound of laughter. And then from behind you,
What are you doing in my cave?
Turning around, I was following where these weird noises were coming from. see they were coming from you.
I did so well this time.
Well played. Are you from round here?
Me? Well, yeah. This is my cave.
What is the next trick? Floating lanterns out on the sea with different coloured gems in?
That's a masterful idea.
Ugh,
Mind if I nick it?
fine.
It's gonna be another good one.
Look, you haven't actually seen dark shadows and things outside the city, have you? You know,
Dark shadows?
actual creepy stuff, not this.
No. It's all me. Just a few pranks.
Fine. What is your name?
Should I be telling you that?
You can tell me.
Make me a persuasion check, please.
Ooh, not great. 13.
13.
I'm not so sure. You might be a copper.
Do I look like one?
I don't know. What does a copper look like?
A bronze version of a silver.
Oh, that was a good one. Oh, yes. Lorik. Lorik Quickfeet's the name.
Lorik. I am Diamond. Pleasure to meet you.
No, you're not.
No, I'm not. I'm going to leave you to your little fun. But don't worry, I will not tell anybody. Your secret is safe with me. Have your fun.
You know, there's not many people that could sneak up on me like that.
I'll take that as a compliment.
I would. Only a few vipers ever managed to sneak up on me like that.
Do you know of any of these vipers?
I met a few in my time.
Are there any in the city?
A few. Depending on what you're looking for, of course.
Perhaps I am looking for one of them.
Well, if you'd be looking for a viper, best be heading to the old siren.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Of course, I have not heard this from
Diamond.
you, of course, have I?
No, I was never here.
Who said that?
No one, of course.
Good night.
Night, Diamond, shine on.
Quick as a flash. Just disappears. Gone.
Joel does
in a
the
flash
same
of
thing.
laughter.
Joel walks. Yeah, as soon as he gets out of the cave, he isn't bothering to stealth and just walks out, just straight back out, back to the port, back into the city. But will then head for the Siren's Call, or whatever it was called. Siren's Room.
Yes, it was indeed the siren's call.
And we'll head for that and look for any unconspicuously conspicuous person.
Very good. Make me a perception check. I'm going to say with advantage because you know what you're looking for in this sort of situation.
Yeah. Perception. 15. It was alright.
Very good. You look around, and there's a number of seedy individuals in this very raucous tavern. There's lots of sailors and fishermen and a couple of individuals that you are damn certain are pirates. Like, full-blown fuck-on peg-leg pirates. Like, you just... But then there's one individual, a tall, lean, half-elf individual. This sharp jawline and these piercing green eyes. Dark chestnut hair. Also, like Silas, pulled back into this neat ponytail. Highlights sort of this, or his high cheekbones, his smooth olive skin. And he dresses in dark, form-fitting clothes. Allows him to sort of blend in easily. You do notice this thin rapier at his side, with this sort of intricately designed hilt with silver filigree in it. You get sort of the impression that there's a taste for not only function but elegance here. This individual appears as sort of charming yet mysterious. You are drawn to them.
Are they drinking anything?
They are indeed. They have a wine glass in their hand, or a wine goblet, we'll say.
Jewel will head up to the bar and order two goblets of wine. And is this person sitting alone at a table?
Yeah, sort of stood, if you like, leaning on the edge of a particular booth where a number of individuals are just chatting. You don't get the impression that he's with them. In fact, if anything, and with your passive perception, which I know is stupidly high anyway, you get the impression that he's listening in. Right, he's collecting information in this moment. He's on the job.
Then I would wait. Either wait until he's not bothered. Wait until he's not bothered, or that they're moving on. That he's had gathered enough information from his look, or that they move on. However, in that meantime, would potentially be trying to, if it happened to catch his eye, doesn't want to interrupt with what could well be, from the teachings, him being on the job.
Very good. I will say then, because you've called that out directly, you take a seat in a small booth, which is sort of meant for 4 people at most, opposite to where this individual is and where this group of raucous sailors, and one of those individuals you're pretty sure is a pirate, is sort of laughing and joking, and they're drinking just pints of grog or ale or something like that, and just being very, very loud. And you do catch this half-elf's eye, and they just sort of raise an eyebrow to you as you look.
I basically got the hood over, so this half-elf can only really see 2 very bright eyes looking at her, and just pushes the goblet to the other side of the table.
And they take the jeweled goblet they have and just drain it, place it down on a table next to them, look around, and there's a moment as quick as a flash, but the hand just reaches out and snatches, and you see a coin purse just come away, and they just slip it into one of their pockets as they then saunter over towards you and seat themselves down. Well. Not often I'm spotted as such.
You are doing very well.
Apparently not well enough.
Come.
I trust this is for me.
Absolutely.
Very well. Sort of takes it and sips. Ah, yes. The elvish wine. Fine choice.
I noticed you were drinking it. It is a very fine one.
It's about as fine as you can get in this cesspit of a city.
I thought it might aid me in my collection of information and possibly help to lubricate some assistance.
Who's trained you then?
God, I couldn't say.
You're quite clearly not a member, despite knowing the signs to look for.
I don't know what you mean.
Forked tongues and hoods, I suppose.
You know of the foul dealings of what has happened further north on the mainland? Shadows and the like?
I was about to say you'd have to be more specific, but word had certainly reached the ears of certain cobra-like individuals. Mysterious phenomenons in the woods, if I'm not mistaken.
It's exactly what I am trying to ascertain.
Interesting. Well, I've only heard of one other place that's plagued by such phenomenon, if that's the information you seek.
It would indeed.
Supposedly one of the twin cities on Helenthor Island, Thalissa, equally plagued.
Interesting.
Indeed, if you're so inclined. Me, I'm just out for a good time. Takes that coin purse out, flicks a gold coin in the air, sort of catches it. Barkeep! 2 more of your finest elven wine. Flicks the gold coin to them. And the barkeep, who looks like a very simple individual, sharpens up for a moment, just catches the coin. Flicks it down. 2 more goblets very quickly appear. 2 bottles of elven wine that are poured in, placed down. And they then put it on a tray and sort of bring it over. As you ordered. Places it down.
Now,
I trust you wanted another one.
oh, absolutely, thank you. I also know that information comes at a price. You have not provided this
Usually.
freely, have you?
Oh, I never provide information for free. But then you are rather intriguing yourself. But let's just say I might be looking for somebody with skills I think you quite clearly possess.
I'm a simple traveller. I don't know what you mean.
Indeed, simple travellers, aren't we all?
Would this help be now or a favour to be called in?
Oh, this is very much going to require more semi-immediate work.
Some information you require, perhaps.
Not information as such. An item of particular renown.
I'm intrigued.
Well, before I tell you about that, I suppose we should get pleasantries out of the way. Not always the done thing, but... He looks around, makes sure nobody's listening, and people aren't really paying you much attention. They're all far too drunk. I am Cassian Vale. A pleasure to meet you, miss.
Just bear with me while I double check. The hell did I put on the end of that letter? I can't remember. Diamond or something.
It was diamond of something.
I can try and remember what
Social
it was.
media.
Yeah, bear with us, guys.
That's way back near the beginning of campaign 2.
Yeah.
So many posts. So many posts. If folks aren't following us on social media, now's the time to go and find those channels. So Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, where we ticked over 200 followers this week, which was amazing.
Yeah, that was really cool to see. That was, yeah, that was really good.
So yeah, there you go. The Diamond in the Darkness, mate.
That's the one. Its name is Diamond. In the darkness.
Of course it is. Of course it is.
A quirky smile, knowing you need to give a name, and knowing he knows it's not my name.
Mm-hmm. And you would equally know that Cassian Vale is a front for someone.
Yeah.
Very well, Diamond. There's an estate up the hill. The merchant that lives there, known for less than kosher trades, shall we say? Alderon Smith, or Smythe, apparently, now is how they go. There's a particular relic, rumoured to have certain abilities. I want that relic. Those I work for want that relic.
Very well. What does it look like?
Follow me, Diamond. And Cassian stands and wanders over to the barkeep. The back room. Please? Just winks. And the barkeep just nods, pulls a small lever under the bar, and there's this door that opens so quietly nobody notices it, and it's just in between two booths. And Cassian sort of ushers you in, and you walk in, and you find a secret chamber of sorts that's plush with these cushioned seats. Well then, Diamond, do take a seat. You also notice on the table in the centre there is almost like a pinboard, if you like, but scraps of paper and drawn pictures of individuals, descriptions, timestamps of stuff. I've been doing my research, you see, waiting to make the right move, but now it seems you've come at the opportune moment.
How do you think I am going to be of use?
Well, I need somebody who can sneak around. And I can blend in. But you, by the looks of it, have a habit of just blending in with the shadows.
It is a favourite pastime of mine.
You and I are going to be firm friends. I have noted the guards' movements over weeks. We need still to spend a few more weeks making sure the item that I need is still there, and we will chart the movements for a while there. This is the item, sort of pushes a drawing and a quick description over to you, and it is just this picture of an orb that is just coloured in black, but with a sort of spherical nature to it. It's known as the Shadow Orb, and it's in a secure vault within
Smythe's private study. I'm told there's a number of magical wards and traps which we'll need to scope out. There's a gala being held in a couple of months.
Is this
That
our
might be a
entryway?
perfect opportunity. Well, it's my entryway. Enough to cause a distraction for you to sneak in. There'll be plenty of cover and distractions.
I'm going to guess that you might be slightly better at gaining entry into this vault with your expertise. So it is more about getting you into the room without anyone
It's about
knowing.
getting us into the room.
Getting myself into the room and around their security is pas de problème. What I will then need to do is get you through the doors. Yes?
I can probably manage that. The magical wards might pose us some trouble, but I think I can handle those too.
Well, as long as I can get you... If I can find my way to the areas we are not supposed to be and let you in, as I'm sure they're going to be locked, it'll be easier for me to do that from the other side. Then once through, we can both go to the vault. Sound good?
Sounds good to me. And I think you'll absolutely want to take me up on this job, because you see this orb, this shadow orb. It's rumoured to hold the ability to manipulate shadows. That
Well,
might
let's
help you with your little predicament up north.
Yes, but let's be clear. I'm going to guess you won't let me keep it.
Outfinders, keepers and all that, I guess.
Well...
To the victor go the spoils.
Tell you what, sweeten the pot. The information about Thalissa is very helpful. But how about gauging guaranteed passage to Thalissa that is not traceable? Something you might be able
Oh,
to
that I
provide?
can absolutely help you with.
Then as long as we have enough provisions for for the month or two to stay in the city, and we'll call it a deal.
Very well, Diamond. Provisions will be provided for you here. The siren's call. We have work to do, you and I.
I look forward to it.
I will say then, for the sake of brevity, that you and Cassian spend the next few months preparing, plotting out the guard rotations, the estate layout, finding out who the guests to the gala are, uncovering that there is a bardic troupe that will be entering in, known as Earth, Wind and Lyre, and you will be posing as one of their particular members. You kidnap one of their members the night before, or at least Cassian does.
Is Cassian
The
going
night
as
of the
one of the
guard.
members?
Cassian has an invite, you find.
Okay.
You come up with a plan that you will enter. You will pose as one of the entertainment troupe's members. Once you're inside, you'll then peel off to go and find the back entrance to the study, which you know is through a particular maze, garden maze behind the estate. Cassian will make his own way to the study and join you there. And then you will seek out the vault. The night of the gala approaches.
Earth, Wind, and you now being liar, Earth and Wind somehow have been charmed or something to believe you have always been liar. And so you enter, and you enter into this particular back room of the estate, where a number of servants and a particular master servant, if you like, maitre d' type individual, who introduces themselves as Colbert. If you just set up here, and then my master will call you when you are ready. I will collect you, and then you will play your little songs, you will be paid, and then you will be on your way. Is this understood? And Earth sort of turns. Oh, mate, that's understood. No worries at all. We'll do our little ditties, and we'll be on our way. Liar here's a bad on the old banjo, if you know what I mean.
I'm not bad.
I hope you are more than not bad after the amount we are paying for you.
Modesty.
La-di-da. I will come for you when you are requested. And the maitre d' exits out. This is your moment, Jewel. What do you do?
So I know where I'm going to be going from here. Am I inside?
Yes. So you would know that from this room, you literally have to hop out a window and you're into the garden maze.
I rest my banjo on the top of some things behind the other band members and then just let it slip off, make a hell of a bang and racket. And as they all turn around to look at it, bugger off out the window.
So you open the window, duck out, shut it again. As you just hear, fucking hell! And they all start to collect up different pieces and this cacophony of noise. And you land at the entrance to this garden maze. Now again, for the sake of brevity, make me a simple nature check, please. And in fact, make me a simple survival check.
18.
18. You and Cassian have scoped this out enough now to know the path through the maze. And you very quickly follow that path and approach this back entrance to the study, where you know there is just one particular brick that you have to press and a secret entrance will be revealed. Make me a straight wisdom check, please. See if we remember this brick.
Dirty 20. Fucking hell. I can't fucking make this up.
You duck into now this study, but as you step in, you pin yourself to the back as this door then closes. Not quite knowing where the magical wards and traps are in this room, and that's where Cassian sort of said, once you're in, hug the wall and stay there until I arrive. So you pin yourself in this uncomfortable position. And about 20 minutes go by until you just hear this. Cassian is there, ducked down as a door, the study door, swings open. Lockpicks in hand. And just sort of puts them to the side. And then stands and just sort of licks one of his fingers and feels with his eyes closed. Points, clicks, and you just see this arcane spark. And it's almost like there's the smell of ozone in the air, like the smell before a storm. As whatever arcane trap was laid, Cassian just tests again and sort of, I think we're good.
Took your
find
fucking
this
time.
out.
I was going to get cramps
Well,
down
one
here.
has to mingle.
Oh, you were mingling
just-
while I was in here? Come on,
I am here now. Let's get this job done, shall we?
let's go.
Let's
Where
go
is it?
indeed. It's what we need to find. So, I'm going to ask you both. Well, I'm going to ask you to make an investigation check, and Cassian will also make investigation checks.
13.
13. Cassian got an 18. So, you begin looking in one corner of the room, and Cassian goes over to the desk, and then he sort of looks under the desk and then just feels a little button. Stand back, Diamond. Just in case. And then presses it. And as he presses it, one of the walls, bookcases on the wall, just and slides across, revealing a vault. And you see numerous things in here. There are piles of gold, there are scrolls, there are books, manuscripts, swords, other weapons, small chests, but on a marble pillar, on a velvet cushion, under a glass dome, if you like, is this black orb, this sphere of pure darkness. And Cassian is just going to look. Et voila.
It is magnificent.
Well. In you
Tell-
go.
Remind me again why we do not try and take it all? As she walks past into the vault.
I don't know about your pockets, but mine are not bottomless.
Nah, I know. She'll go up to it and then sort of look back to confirm with him, like, you know, look on his face that I can pick this up, and then pick it up.
Okay. So you notice his back is turned as he's sort of just looking around at something, as you then lift the glass dome and pick up the orb, and in that moment this ringing sort of alarm tone starts sounding, and a number of gemstones around the area just start to light up, and Cassian looks at you. Did you really just have to pick it up? Could you not wait for me to enter?
Whoops.
Fuck. Give it here, quick.
Gonna try and sleight of hand it, give it to him, but then grab it back.
Make me a sleight of hand check, please.
It's 5.
5. You sort of hand it to him, and as you drop it, there's a moment where you try and almost do sort of a little sleight of hand and hide it in your palm, but he just catches it and goes, I don't think so. Thank you, Diamond. This is just what I needed. And he grips it and disappears into shadow as a portcullis-like thing starts to descend. Now I'm going to allow you a moment here to make me a dexterity saving throw to see if you can dart under using your feline agility before this portcullis closes.
No, just take a step back.
You take a step back
Yeah.
into the vault.
Yeah.
Okay. So you step into the vault as it closes, and then a number of guards run in. What are you doing?
She'll wait until the guards are in front, and then look over their shoulder, and will then misty step right next to the door she came into.
There we go. The tail just whips out, and that silver ring shines in the subtle light that's
And
here.
just waves at them. She goes.
You misty step and through the door, and the guards are just like, "Whoa, where did she go? What the fuck?" The city is in high alert at this point. You scramble, just running wherever you can. You've got everything you had that's important to you on you.
you begin to stalk through the alleyways and the city, basically heading back to head out. Where are you going to go?
Where am I going to go? Is in. Well, suppose
If you were picking a destination, where would you go?
I mean, I was thinking that it would be straight to Thalissa. So if that's where you're talking of, or if you're talking within the city.
No, I'm thinking in this moment, you need to escape. You need to hide somewhere. Where would you go?
In that respect, then it might even be the Crystal Grove Cove.
Okay. So you scamper out, and there's a moment where you run around a corner and smack into something solid. And as you bounce off and sort of look up dazed, you see a strange individual in this sort of blue leather outfit with this half cape on their side and these twin swords. As they turn, they have horns that curl over their head, one eye of blue, one eye of purple. And they look down at you. You in a hurry there?
No, mild one. Good evening.
And this individual sort of looks at you when you rushing around, sees the alarm. I'd best be on my way if I were you.
I plan to. Good evening.
You duck off and scarper off as this individual steps forward, and a number of guards run forward. And this individual said, "Whoa, whoa, whoa, whoa! What's the rush? Why are we all in such a hurry?" And they start to converse with these guards, giving you a moment to just escape. You get to the Crystal Cove. The only thing besides Thalissa I will guide you on, it's the only bit of railroading I'm going to do in this moment now, is home. So we will say in this moment, you begin to stalk out of the city, following the coastline, if you like, and around the edge, back to the ferry. And you think home. It has been months.
Yeah.
You get to the ferry, and it's the same ferryman. Are you again? 3 silver.
Oh, thanks. Yeah, that would be great. Throw him some 3 silver.
Get on the ferry. And at this point, you've actually made more silver during sort of little heists and sort of more gold. Where you arrive, or where you left with 2 gold, you've now got like 10, 15 gold in your pocket. You sort of scatter some silver at him and get on this ferry, and the flight home continues. Like, you are not stopping. You are going as quickly as you physically can. You stop to rest, you camp. And there's a moment when you enter the woods that you think, light. And you pull out your hooded lantern, open all of the hoods, and you do camp, and you sleep. But it is a restless sleep, because you are on edge. After a day or two, you wander through the familiar trails to Stonebark. You enter on an evening, and you sort of enter in and just, and the militia sort of let you in, or in fact I'm going to say you sneak in, bypassing the militia as is your way. As you enter into the village, 3 shadows appear in front of you. And they launch towards you. What are you doing?
I'll throw the lantern straight towards them and pull out a dagger.
Very good. I'm going to say then, as you throw the lantern straight towards them, make me a dexterity check, please.
Nice, I'll take it. Dexterity check. Dirty 20.
Dirty 20. You catch the closest shadow, and it's caught in instant light and just fizzles out. You have absolutely smashed it out of that one, like with an unnatural 20. So yeah, we'll take that one out. Very good. Let's roll on some initiative.
Yes. Nice, 18.
Yeah, bear with. I've just got to. There we go. Shit. Totally fucked that up. Totally fucked that up. So, sorry, yours was...
18.
And, sorry, you do need to be level 3 now, my friend. So I don't know if that changes your initiative roll.
No, it doesn't.
Very good. Very good. Where are we? Where are we? Very good. You are up first, having just bamfed one of these shadow creatures out of existence. 2 now bearing down on you.
If we could say that in her time she ended up with a second dagger.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Simple, non-magical, both of them.
It's all good.
It would be a fantastic 22 to hit as she slashes to one of the other ones.
You're going to hit. You slash towards the second one that approaches you.
Yeah. Normal damage to 5 points of piercing.
5 points of piercing.
And then with the second dagger, swipes. I just threw that under the monitor. Try that again.
Nice.
That was pretty good. That was a good throw, actually. It was really annoying. Dirty 20 to hit.
Nice, yep.
And this one, I think, is without my modifier, so it's 4 points of piercing damage.
Excellent. So you sort of stab twice into this first shadow creature that appears up to you. It is in this moment then, as these shadows appear, and you stab in. Anything else you want to do? Bonus actions?
That will be my bonus action of the second attack, basically.
Of course it will.
Yeah.
And no additional movement, I'm assuming.
Yeah, no. I'm not gonna stick with them.
It's in this moment again, out of the shadows this time, running towards you. You see Silas, who just shouts, "Joel!" And they slide in, take out 2 short swords, closing at 30 feet distance to the third shadow, and just swipe twice using their 2-weapon fighting as well. If I'm right, yes, they will. 2-weapon fighting. So, first short sword attack, I'm going to make this really easy on myself. I'm going to do it that way. That is a 15 to hit with the first one, and a 13 to hit with the second, so both of those are going to hit. So that is going to be one of those 6 points of damage and 4, so 10 reduced down. So they cut into the third, if you like, shadow, one already being destroyed by your lantern. It is then the shadow's turn. That first shadow that you've attacked is going to reach down towards you and is going to try and connect its shadowy spectral fingers with your skin. And what a fucking great start. Natural one.
Hey!
Fucking shit stick that was. Number 3 shadow then is going to try and connect with Silas. That's better. That's an 18 plus 4, so that is a 22 to hit. Again, going to make this easy on myself. That is max damage as well. That's 14 points of damage immediately to Silas. 14 points of necrotic damage as it connects with his skin. And his strength score is then reduced by 3.
Oof.
Oh, shit. No, I don't want to do that. Other modifier, 3. There we go. Cool. We are then back round the top to yourself.
Having seen the way that these things try to attack me, the way that they moved, and the way that they've attacked Silas, use my bonus action Insightful Fighting to make an insight check against the target's deception check. See if I can get advantage on my attacks. In my insight, that's a 23.
I got 13. They've got a negative modifier to charisma, so I was fucked.
So I now have advantage, and I can now use my sneak attack.
Yes, you can.
On it. So, to the same one that attacked me, the second one, so to speak.
Yeah. We'll call it B.
Yeah, so that is now advantage on that one, and that is not brilliant. 14 to hit.
14 will still hit.
Oh, you bastard, that was close, because the other one was a natural one. And this is now 2d6, so that,
nice.
And roll another one, which is that, so 3, 6, 10 points of piercing damage. That was a really shit roll on the sneak attack.
Well, that's your first swipe. Oh no, because you've used your bonus action.
I've used my bonus action, so yes.
So you strike across, and even with the half damage, because it's a non-magical dagger, you see this inky darkness just filter off.
I move into a I was going to say flanking position, or some kind of position that means that I would then hopefully get sneak attack with Silas for my next attacks or future attacks if he doesn't move.
I will say yes, you move into a position now where you and Silas are in a position where you're both engaged with these two creatures. Silas, as it's his go next, move similar to the point where you're almost opposite, and these two creatures are now in the centre of you. To allow you then, yes, that's sneak attack instantly. I just need to very quickly look at something. Where is it? That one. Yep, no worries. Don't need to worry about that one. Very good. They are, yeah. So Silas is just immediately, again, going to swipe with those two short swords, although I just need to check. Yep, that's fine. So, can you only do that once? Excellent. 2 weapon fighting means technically if he hits twice, he can use sneak attack twice.
Oh!
Because you are engaged. Oh no, sorry, once per turn. Once per turn. Ignore me. Yep. So, we'll go the first swipe. Absolutely going to hit. It's an 11 on the dice. Second attack is a natural 1. So, that is going to be 5 plus sneak attack. Shit. 10, so 15 points of damage reduced down to 8 on C. And as he cuts through C, this shadowy wisp again, C almost shrinks down and becomes fainter to the point where it's really not looking good. It is then B's go, who is going to try and attack you with that shadowy arm.
Yep.
Shit, that didn't even go down the fucking tube. There we go. That is a 12 to hit.
No, 14 armor class.
Misses. C is then going to try and attack Silas. Oh, I think that one's going to also miss. That is a 9. Silas's AC is 15. So they both miss in this moment, and we are back around the top to you, Jewel.
So I still have advantage on the same one. That stands for a minute.
Nice.
Yeah, I fucking missed this. So that is a 22 to hit. Fucking
Absolutely.
phenomenal.
We've got other features now which are cool. Don't worry about it, mate.
Oh, they're still very cool, don't get me wrong. So that is fairly fantastic for the first set. Now, sorry, that is 5, 10 points of piercing for the first one. First
Okay.
attack. Don't know whether I need another one, but I would then still have advantage, but not then get sneak attack on the second bonus action.
And you're
one.
only going to get your straight damage.
And the only straight damage, but it's 16 to hit.
Yes, absolutely.
And therefore 2 points of piercing damage.
You then it's only got a hit point left, so that's like the exact amount of damage you needed to deal. You swipe across and then stab in, and as you stab in, this shadow just dissipates, leaving behind just this strange inky residue on the floor. That will be your go. It's then Silas's go.
I do note the inky residue on the floor because that's the first time I've seen it, and the note that I heard about the boats.
Yeah, Silas is going to attack twice with his short swords. First one's a 26. Second one's a 13. So we're going to do 2, so that's 6 points of initial damage, plus sneak attack and the second damage. That is 18 points of damage, halved to 9. Wow. As Silas then cuts through that second, and the shadow, that's shadow then. And we are out of combat. It is in this moment, Jewel, where you see a flash of red run past you with a hood up.
Mayanora, was that?
You following?
Yes. I'm going to follow.
Excellent stuff. So you follow Mayanora, and using your feline agility, and Silas using something follows you, and you eventually catch up to Mayanora, who then just sort of stops, sensing you behind her, and lowers her hood and turns. And where before she had sort of these brown eyes, they are now red. So the irises are red. You notice a number of scars along her arms.
Maynora, what is happening to you? What is this? Why are you running?
Julie should not be here. Go. Go, run.
What has happened?
You have to go. I cannot stay. I have to go. Go. Run. Run.
And in that moment, a shadow appears behind Silas and just wraps its arms around him, and you just hear Silas goes,
No! I try to
Silas is
the shadow, but doubt I'd get to.
You can absolutely do that. I'm going to roll the damage first from it on Silas. 10, 12 points of damage to Silas. Of necrotic damage. And then I need to roll a d4. Not good. In that moment, then, Silas's strength score drops immediately to 0.
Shit.
Silas just drops down to the floor. Silas is dead.
No!
And Mayanora in that moment just, no! Streaks forward, and you see she's got this small knife that has sliced across her arm as she's launched it out. And these jets of boiling red liquid have just against this shadow, which then just dissipates. As you look towards this shadow, you see another hooded figure in the distance. Just hooded with this black hood pulled up. Mayanora is just going to turn to you, Jewel.
Jewel, you have to run. Forget I was ever here.
Who is that? Over there.
It does not matter.
Jewel, run, now!
And we'll just turn and bolt. Feline agility.
And as you
120
turn and
feet,
bolt,
almost bouncing off trees.
Mayanora pulls out a scroll. And you don't realise, but she just whispers, "Oh, forgive me, Jewel." And she is going to cast a 5th level Modify Memory.
Oh! Oh! Oh!
So I need to actually remember this fucking spell, because
Yeah.
I had it all noted down early and totally forgot. I need you to make me a wisdom saving throw, please.
Okay. Oh, great. That's going to go so well. 5!
There's a moment where you're running and this sharp pain just shoots through your head. And you look up. And as you look up, everything is dark. You are no longer where you were running. In fact, you see these spectral figures around you. You see an image of Mayanora holding bronze. Wisp away. Mayanora and the hayfork disappear. Mayanora herself standing there. Gone. Everything that happened up to this point that has involved Mayanora, you forget. You forget Mayanora herself. And then as you snap out of it and your eyes close and open again, there is that flash of 2 piercing blue eyes. All you recall is the shadow blight that has plagued Stonebark Village for years. The shadowy figure you don't see, but you see this streak of red running into the forest. You see the aftermath. You see Silas dead.
I see
And the
Silas,
only thought
Silas
that runs
dead.
through
I
your head. Yep.
remember Katrana. I know the shadows. And I see that suspicious figure. And I follow. I try to follow.
You do. In this moment then, when you would have returned home, you turn. And you follow the one thing that pins to this moment what you suspect is the cause of all your plight, all of your misery, all of your sorrow. Whoever this figure is that runs through the forest now, they must be responsible. Why would they be running? Shadows have plagued this village. Shadows have killed people in this village. And whatever is running is now your one and only target. You remember what Cassian told you about Thalyssa, but you are going to chase this target down. You run so far into the woods before you lose track of this individual. It's almost like they have disappeared. In your pack, because you had done the smart thing and got this from Cassian before the job, was a letter. A letter of passage, a rite of passage, aboard a skyship that would launch from, when I pull the map back up,
Asgar? Or something?
say again,
I'm trying to remember it.
a Gruz.
A Gruz! I was totally nearly there. A Gruz.
That would launch from the city of Agruz.
Yes.
You pull out that map of Dryamere that your father gave you. Agruz is a number of weeks away. You head south, back to Eleanor. Skirting around Eleanor, you head straight for the small town of Phelan, and then to Ahanath, where you charter ship using the money you have. You follow the shipping routes south from Ahanath out into the Kedmir Sea before you head east past the Crystalline Isle, past Savage Rift Isle, across the Sea of Lost Souls, and eventually alight in Agruz. And hello to our first time chatter. Thank you very much for joining us. We are just on the verge of closing, but thank you for being with us. You alight in Agruz. You wasted no time, having hidden and kept yourself on this ship despite chartering it. You waste no time in boarding that skyship and heading straight towards Thalissa, a city also plagued by shadows, a city where answers lie, and a city where a name is given to you, one Artemisia Calianera, one who studies the shadows and seeks to understand what is going on, one who calls for aid.
Finally, someone on the path we are on.
As Jewel alights in the city of Thalissa, we snap back to that room, that chamber in the Cathedral of Sin, as you awake, shrugged off the condition placed on you by the succubus, and you launch into a furious attack into this room, helping your allies to win this particular battle, which we covered off in our previous episode, campaign 2. And that is where we leave Jewel for now, to pick up in our next episode. However, it's not quite where we finished tonight's episode. Our camera pans all the way across Enoeth, all the way across the continent, descends down into Dryamere, descends down into Stonebark Village, where in the dead of night, a cloaked and shadowed figure approaches a grave and wanders up. And they look around them in the dead of night, in the darkness, and begin to sketch in chalk runes atop this grave. They light candles, and in the dead center they place a diamond.
Oh, you may have escaped me once, but I still have work for you.
And as the hood comes down, revealing greasy black hair, a hooked nose, a mage casts a particular spell. As a hand, pallid and scarred, claws its way out of a grave. One Mayanora Hamela herself crawls from her grave, reformed, rebirthed, resurrected. And this figure is going to place a hand on her head. Mine. And that, my friends, is where we are going to conclude our final origin story of Campaign 2. Dave, I think just for your reaction, we need to flick back to that. I've been sat watching you just go, what? What the? What? What the fuck is going on?
What timeline this is? Where is this? Who's there? Who's dead? There's just one of 3 options. No, you didn't.
So yes, that is the end of our origin stories and very much sets us back on the path for the rest of campaign 2. So my friends, thank you for joining us. Thank you to our first time chatters. I hope you have enjoyed tonight. Thank you for everybody who has joined us as well. What a roller coaster that episode has been. I appreciate it's been a long one as well, so forgive us for that one, folks, but we had a fair bit to get through there. Quite a meaty backstory with Jewel of Shadows, but one well worth exploring. So a big thank you to everyone. Thank you to you, Dave, because it's been a very one-on-one session. Thank you for bearing with me for all my ramblings.
Amazing. I wrote I think like anywhere between 2 and 5 paragraphs of my backstory, and that is a phenomenal origin story. I fucking love it.
We rolled with what we had and what we've learned along the way.
Yeah.
So yes. We are back next week. I've forgotten what we're back next week with, so I'm just going to make sure I pull that up. I think we are back with our next episode of Campaign 2. Where are we? Yes, we are back with episode 63 next week, and following that, episode 64 as well. So a double bumper session, if you like, or a double week. 2 weeks of campaign 2 before we head into our finale of Orbital Blues. So folks, please do not miss out. I'm not going to labour this any longer because it's been a long one, but thank you, Dave, for being amazing. Thank you all of our viewers for being epic as well. This has been Malt Magic Campaign 2 Origins Jewel of Shadows. We love you all. Stay safe, and we will see you next time.